Alright guys, well, we got a bunch of work to do to the Saturn, so let's go ahead and just hop right into it. We got to get the hood off, the fender off, gotta put the new headlight bracket and everything back on. So let's just hop right into it. Hopefully this should be quick, and we're going to go ahead and replace all the parts, and hopefully might be able to wrap this Saturn up in this video, hopefully. We'll see, be a two-part thing, which would be nice. And we got another build that we just got that I'm gonna post up here soon. So let's knock this Saturn out so we keep moving on. Yeah. Well, I would say that was a good day's work. Had quite a few things going on at once. Had some help from the kids today. It was actually a big help. We got the garage cleaned up. Got one of the builds we were working out of the way to be able to get the Saturn in the garage. As you've seen, we got the hood off, front bumper off, or the front bumper's already off. The little busted up plastic pieces here. Straightened up just a little bit more of the frame here where the reinforcement bar bolts up, and got the fender off, side skirt off, all that stuff. So I still got to figure out why it dies when I put it in reverse or drive or any of the gears. So tomorrow we'll get back on this. We're going to replace the transmission control module, and there's a couple solenoids up here for the transmission slash wipers. You see how the wipers are kind of stuck up? Some of the relays are all tied into one system. So I'm going to change all those out tomorrow, and we'll see if we can get this thing fixed to where it doesn't die when you put it in gear. So that'll be the next step. Once we get that taken care of, then we'll probably start reassembly. Although if the kids are out here and they want to help, then I'll give them some stuff to start reassembling, like the headlight bracket and all that stuff. Looks like there's no coolant in the system. I see it right there in the reservoir. So tomorrow we're also going to go through that and check it out. Possibly there might be a crack in the radiator somewhere. I don't know. I'm going to jack it up a little bit more, slide underneath there and see if I can see what's going on. Maybe a hose popped off. Other than that, I think that's it. So I'll catch you guys in the morning. Yeah. So what is up, guys? It is the next day here, and I already woke up early this morning and started working on the Saturn a little bit. My main goal today was to get it to actually move on its own power. So I came out, I started messing around, I changed the relays that I thought it was. That didn't help, nothing. So basically, like I said before, what it was doing was you start it up, it starts up fine. As soon as you put it in any of the gears, the car stalls out. Well, I started thinking that maybe it was possibly the clock spring on this thing, which is located in the steering wheel, like maybe from the accident, the airbag going off, shorted something, whatever. Um, so I started pulling the steering wheel apart, but before I did that, I happened to just turn on the headlights, and as soon as I hit the headlight switch, the car died. So I'm like, what the heck, you know? So that took me a few minutes to figure out. So I unplugged the headlight switch. Obviously then the switch doesn't work, so the car stayed running, but it would still die in gear. So I went ahead and started taking apart more of the steering wheel to see if maybe there's something in there. Couldn't find nothing. So I was thinking it was the whole assembly, because then even the wipers were stuck up. Nothing was working. So I was getting frustrated with that. I actually ended up coming back to the front here to put on the reinforcement bar. And I took off the headlight because I noticed the bulb was gone. And when I took the headlight and stuff off, I started looking at some of the wires, make sure there was no damage. But I did notice one little black ground wire. It was really short, and it was like cut for some reason, but there was no end to it anywhere. Couldn't figure it out. No end, nothing. So, luckily, since I drive a Saturn, I happened to walk over there, pop the hood, and see that that wire did need to be grounded. So I found a nut that fits on there, and grounded it, and holy crap, everything works perfect. I already took it for a drive and all that. One little stupid wire, which I'll show you, got cut, and that was it. Shut the whole car down. That's insane. So headlights work, wipers work, everything works now. So let me show you this wire real quick and where I grounded it. So inside of here is actually right here. You can see the little red piece right there. That wire was snipped right there. So I stripped it back a little bit more, put a butt connector on there, and ran the ground up to right there. So I think it's pretty crazy that one ground can really like mess everything up. It was amazing how, you guys can see I got the reinforcement bar on. I think it's amazing that just that one little ground did that much mess up to the car, you know, like wouldn't let it run basically how it's supposed to. So I'm going to keep on trucking along here, and I'm going to hopefully get this bad boy put back together. I will have to end up getting a radiator, unfortunately, because there is a slight hole, pinhole somewhere. I can't quite find it. But I do see a little drip on the ground, and the coolant light's on, and like I said before, the coolant tank here is actually empty. So I'm going to work on that. Probably pull the radiator, see if I can find the hole. Or maybe it's just possibly a hose, which would be fantastic. If not, I'll get the order that up, and I can go ahead and put on the fender and all the other stuff though, because I will not need that on to do the radiator. So that's enough of that. Let's get assembling this thing back together and deassembling the radiator. And I want to apologize now for the camera, the focus. I'm still figuring out how to use this one. I like it so far though. I have done edited videos of this camera that I particularly use, which is my wife's old Nikon D51. It is kind of heavy in my arm though, so if you see it kind of shaking, that's why. But I do like the footage a lot better than the GoPro. It's not so grainy, it's actually pretty smooth. So that's good. So like I said, if the focus is weird or if I'm out of focus right now a little bit, I can't really see on the screen too well because it's kind of bright in here, there's glare, but that's the reason for that. So anyways, that's enough. Let's get back to work. Alright guys, well, we've been working all morning on the radiator for the Saturn and stuff. Got new radiator put in, everything's tightened up, double checked. Went ahead and filled up the coolant, started it up, everything worked great, got good heat, good AC, all that's good to go. So now, time to go ahead and get this front bumper back on and finish this thing up. So, let's get at it. Well, here it is, guys, all put back together. Those panels match good too. I was kind of a little nervous about the paint match, but it's actually like spot on, which is awesome. All the body gaps turned up good. Like I said, the bumper's not on, so that's why it looks like that right there. But the headlights in there good. The hood. The only thing is right here, it's kind of hard to see, but this is actually a little bit higher right there. But my car does the exact same thing for some reason. The Saturns, that fender sticks up a little bit higher, but everything else turned out good. There's a little bit of damage right here on the hood. You can see it right there. It's got a little bit chipped on the end. Slightly dented, but way better than the hood that was on here, obviously. So there it is though, guys. Looks good. Turned out awesome. And the best part is realistically it only took like a day to put together. So day to pull it apart and pull the frame a little bit, and day to reassemble. I wish they were all like this. Alright guys, well, that wraps up another build video for the Saturn. Saturn's complete. Already even had it inspected by the state. It passed everything, it's perfectly fine. Got the title paperwork in the mail, shipped off. Now I'm just waiting on that, and I'll be posting that up for sale as soon as I get that back. So just like normal, you know, comment, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Like always, I appreciate you guys watching and following along and keeping up with the builds and that. Glad we got this one wrapped up. Be time to move on to the next one. and hopefully start bidding on a few more cars, see if we can get something else in the works. Be nice. So, like always, till next time guys, make sure your neck stays red and your collar stays blue.